beautiful parents of the Calming the ADHD Family third annual summit. My name is Laura Dawn, and I am your host. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about your thoughts and your feelings. Something that really had a powerful impact that changed not only my parenting, but the whole trajectory of my life was when I understood that I was actually in control of my thoughts. So I'll give you an example. I used to have the thought that my family has ADHD, therefore, life will simply be harder for us. Life will just be harder. I'll never have time for myself. We're just going to have all kinds of struggles, and that's just the way it is. And when I had those thoughts, I felt really like yucky, right? Hopeless, sad. And that wasn't a place that I wanted to parent from. Then I heard that this like idea that you get to choose your thoughts. You don't have to believe every thought that comes into your mind. And I started researching more and learning more about how our brains work. And it shows on brain scans that you have a thought a fraction of a second before you have a feeling. So you have the power to control your feelings based on your thoughts. So for example, I'm sitting outside by a beautiful lake right now. So I can look at this lake and I can think like, this is gorgeous. What a beautiful day. I'm so lucky to be here. And that can lead me to having feelings of gratitude and happiness, maybe calm, serenity, those types of feelings. Somebody else could be sitting in this exact same spot, looking at this exact same beautiful surrounding, and they might have the thought, I don't have time to be sitting here. I'm late for a meeting. I've got so much work to do. And having those thoughts would lead them to feel maybe anxious or overwhelmed or frustrated. So it doesn't really have anything to do with what's happening in the world around. It is the thoughts that we have in our own mind about what's happening in the world around us. So once I really worked on that with a coach, because that took a lot of really wrapping my mind around, that's when things really shifted for my family. So here's another example. And I think this is something a lot of you can relate to. I often had the thought, oh, I'm doing a terrible job. I'm a terrible mom. Is that something that you can relate to? A lot of the moms that I work with, and I generally work more with moms, but a lot of the moms I work with have those feelings. Like they'll tell me about things that are bothering them, and then they'll say like, I feel guilty that I'm not doing a good enough job as a mom. I'm not a good enough mom. So when you have that thought, I'm not a good enough mom, of course you're going to feel guilty, ashamed, hopeless. And when you have those feelings, our feelings drive our actions. So you already are raising a child with ADHD that requires extra energy, right? Extra patience, extra love. And if you yourself are depleted coming from this place of shame and guilt and overwhelm, it's really hard to give your child the energy that they need. And it's hard to implement the strategies when you're feeling depleted yourself. Now, I'm not saying just swap your thoughts around, but I am saying notice your thoughts and decide if you want to keep those thoughts or not. 90% of the thoughts we have are automatic. That means they pop into our head without us knowing. And these automatic thoughts come from a lot of subconscious programming that happens from the first 7 years of our life, which is really a fascinating concept. Like when your brain is young, all these beliefs are being wired into your brain, and you're learning from your environment. You're learning from your family. You're learning from school, from TV shows, from the environment around you is creating the neural networks in your brain of, for example, what a good mom should do. Maybe, you watch the Brady Bunch and you saw a good mom always kept her cool and she solved problems in a calm, cool, collected way, and always had snacks for the kids. When your subconscious programming of what a good mom is contradicting your living experience of being a mom, it can be really upsetting for you. And this could be happening on a very subconscious level. And so when your image of mom is not matching what was programmed into your mind of what mom should be, that can lead to feelings of guilt and shame and disappointment. And that's a really hard place to be parenting from. There's an expression that I love, and it goes like this: your worst parenting on your best day is better than your best parenting on your worst day. So we want to really look at our thoughts, and we want to decide, first of all, whether they're true or not. So when that thought pops into your mind, I'm doing a bad job, I'm a bad mom, I'm not good enough, or whatever, look at that thought and decide if you want to keep that thought. Is it true? First of all, is that thought true? So if I have the thought, I am a terrible mom right now, well, is that true? What is the definition of a terrible mom? So if you're watching this summit right now, I know that you care a whole lot about improving your parenting, about supporting your child with ADHD. You're investing your time and your energy into doing better. So that doesn't sound like a terrible mom. So like, define, what does that thought really mean? And question it. Is that true about me? Maybe I've made a mistake, but can I give myself some compassion? Can I allow myself to have the thought that I'm learning and I'm getting better each day? Those thoughts are much more helpful. So you have the thought, analyze it, decide like what that thought really means, and then is it really, really true? And do you want to keep that thought? If I keep allowing that thought, I'm a bad mom, I'm not doing a good enough job, what's going to happen is there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And it's like the bodyguard of the brain that lets things in. And what happens is if you keep having this thought, I'm a bad mom, I'm not doing a good enough job, your brain's going to look for more and more evidence to prove that thought true. So anytime you make a mistake, your brain's going to go, see, you're a bad mom. Anytime you're a little bit late to pick up your child from soccer practice, see, you're a bad mom. Anytime you lose your cool a little bit, see, you're a bad mom. We don't want to keep reinforcing that in our brains. And actually, I just had a conversation with Dr. Hallowell, and he really emphasized the idea of choosing to focus on strengths. Like his whole philosophy, 40 years in the practice, is focusing on the strengths. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So is there another thought I could have rather than I'm not doing a good enough job, I'm a bad mom? What's a better thought? How about I am a mom that's human and making mistakes is part of being human? Like I can feel a lot more compassionate towards myself with that kind of a thought. Or I'm learning. Or where's the lesson in this for me? Yes, I didn't do this the way I would have liked to. Where's the lesson in this for me? What can I learn from this moment? Giving yourself some kindness and love and compassion the same way that we would want to give that love and kindness and compassion to our children. This is something that we will be diving in a whole lot deeper in our morning session on Thursday. So day 4 of the summit is 2 parts. The morning part is open invitation for everybody who's in the summit. We'll be diving into really getting a good understanding of our thoughts and feelings, things that trigger us, how we can kind of control those triggers, what we can do about it. And then in the afternoon, we'll be going deeper with the VIPs who are in the Platinum VIP program. So we'll be doing a really deep dive into our heart-brain boot camp, which will be a really beautiful thing. But I would like to give you a strategy. When you have a thought, I want you to imagine, so that thought, and this, I'm picking this thought because I've had this thought thousands of times, and so many of my clients have had this thought too, that I'm not a good enough mom. So imagine you have that thought on a piece of paper right in front of your face, and you say, I'm not a good enough mom. So try that. Like put your hand right in front of your face, try the thought or a thought that you have that's repetitive. How does that feel when you say that? I'm not a good enough mom. Lots of people say it's like suffocating. You can't see anything but that hand, which is representing the thought, like right in front of your face. Now imagine saying that thought, but holding it away from you a little bit. I'm not a good enough mom. So if you're able to separate it a little bit from yourself, you can see more around you. It doesn't feel as suffocating. So a way that you can do this in your brain to separate that thought is when you notice these thoughts come in your head, these negative thoughts, and we all have them, 90% of our thoughts are negative and automatic. When it comes into your head, you can do this simple little brain hack. You can tell yourself, my brain had the thought, I'm not a good enough mom. So it's not, I'm not a good enough mom. It's my brain had the thought, I'm not a good enough mom. So that's just distancing yourself a little bit from that thought. My brain had the thought, whatever it is that's negative and yucky and you don't like it. And then you can look at it from a distance and decide, is it true? Is it helpful to keep that thought? Is there a way I can reframe it that is more helpful to me? You remember, your thoughts create your feelings and your feelings drive your actions. So I would rather have the thought, I am a mom, than I'm not a good enough mom. Just, I'm a mom. Like, that's a fact. I can believe that I'm a mom. Or I'm a mom who's learning and growing. I'm a mom who's doing my best. Those give me some feelings of compassion. And if I'm able to give myself compassion, I'm able to give my kids compassion. And that's a much more powerful place to parent from. So that's my strategy for you today. Notice your thoughts, question them, ask yourself if you want to keep them. And when those negative thoughts pop into your head, just give some separation by adding, my brain had the thought that blah, blah, blah. So it's not I am the thoughts, my brain had the thought. Give yourself some distance so you can really question and analyze those thoughts. It's really powerful to play around with. We actually get to choose our thoughts, and our thoughts create our feelings. Our feelings drive our actions. And this is a lot of the work that I do inside of my coaching, and it's really, really powerful. Dr. Hallowell's message is, you are better than you think. You are better than you think. So what are the thoughts that you want to have about yourself? And let's amplify them. You're even better than that. You're better than that. And let's give that to our children too. If we're able to take care of ourselves, boost ourselves up, be compassionate about ourselves, have some positive thoughts about ourselves, then we have a lot of beautiful abundance to overflow to our children and give them that positivity and compassion. So I hope you enjoy day 2 of the summit. We have a whole lineup of incredible, incredible speakers today. And I will see you in the Facebook group live. I'll be going live. I believe it's around 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can always catch the replays inside the ADHD Village Facebook group. I'd love to connect with you in there during the live calls. I'll be bringing in some experts to come live with us as well. If you are a VIP, we'll also be connecting over Zoom, which I'm really excited for. And we'll have our session on Thursday. The morning, again, is open to everybody, and the afternoon is for Platinum VIPs for the Heart Brain Boot Camp. Sending you all so much love, and enjoy day 2. Love you.